Do you know Army?
Do you know Army?
Do you know Army?
Do you know Army?
You're right over there. You want to take a little drink? I'm Sarah.
I'm Mimi.
Or Mako.
Or
Casey.
Mako.
I'm Zoe.
I'm Buana.
Yeah, we were eating on some grapes prior to
Yeah.
this. So, yeah.
Dang it.
Worldwide Army TV. So we got another hot topic today because there just is so much happening other than in the world, just within BTS Army.
In our family.
In our
It's so
family.
much happening we can't keep up.
On a structural level,
Yes.
it's a lot happening.
Especially on the structural level.
Yeah.
It's a lot happening.
It's
And
a lot of restructuring is what's
Yeah.
happening.
with our guys, with our core family, with us, there's some things happening, some hot things
Hell
happening.
yeah.
We got to mention, permission to dance and butter,
I need
and
permission to dance.
and number being number one week after week after
7
week.
weeks now.
How?
Yep,
So,
7 weeks.
Well, they're there
At
to
number
stay.
one.
Yeah, they are. They
So-
are. So, but
And some people think this might be our in for the next Grammy nod.
I don't know.
I think that's another conversation.
That's another podcast. So.
All right.
But
What?
today
What we're
we
here for.
are talking about P.D. Neem announcing that he is stepping down as CEO
Yeah.
and focusing more on his work as a music producer.
Yeah.
Which is something we're hoping means he's going to go back home, return to his roots, which is what we've been wanting our guys to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what does that mean in terms of us?
What does that mean for us? That is a big question that everybody is asking.
Or
including all
at
Army and
least
Twitter.
we are asking.
I'm
Yeah.
saying everyone as in, Army. That's what
Yeah.
Army is asking. What does that mean for us? Because it is really vague. He left a very vague message about what he's planning to
Well,
do.
let me tell you exactly what he said.
Okay.
P.D. Name, he said, I don't see myself, this is quote, I don't see myself as a great businessman, but more as a good leader, he said. There are certain qualities that a manager should have, whether it's drive or maybe an aggression, but I am fundamentally an artist, and I am not too results or performance orientated. So why are we doing this and what are we doing are questions I ask. And I think this is reflected in our mission statement, music and artists for healing.
But that's not HYBE's current mission statement. See, this is where it gets confusing.
Yeah, this is where it gets confusing. And I think with what she just read, or what he said, let's
Yeah.
put it that way, that's what he started questioning. That's what I took from what.
Yeah, he's questioning it, but
that's what he started
yeah.
questioning internally. Like, this is what I'm about. This is the core of me. So.
So he's going to hand off what he built, and then what?
Yeah.
Just leave it, put the reins into someone else's
That's
hands?
exactly what he is doing.
But I think he's smart enough, or I would hope to think he's smart enough to not just turn it over with no control.
Well, no. So, according to Variety article, Bang will now focus on his roles as chairman of the board of directors, where he will still be involved in decision making about the company's core businesses. He also will focus on music production, which is how he first rose to fame in the 1990s and early 2000s as Hitman. So, that's what he said he's going to do.
Yeah. I mean, and that's when I got excited, because when I saw the title, when I saw the eye-catching, what do you call it? I'm tired. When I saw what the article was about, my jaw dropped, my eyes popped out, and I immediately jumped in the chat, and I'm like, I'm not gonna say what I said.
Yeah, she was like, "What? What? What?
I'm the only one seeing this. Hello,
But
is this thing on?
If what we just said is true, ideally, then that means where do our guys fall? Like,
Yeah.
how much control does he have specifically to them?
But that's the thing. When I that's what I thought immediately. That's what I thought immediately. But then I read it. I read his words, and my second thought was, oh, he's going back home, so maybe they'll be better taken care of. I don't think I've even touched on the fact that I feel like they're not being well taken care of right now,
I still don't know where they fall.
because I really don't.
I still don't know where they lie.
That's why it's just so confusing. You know, I've been asking a lot of questions the past year for way many things. Other than this is just kind of like another really big question in the midst of everything.
Yeah.
Like, at the same time, we were also looking to, you know, if PD needs stepping down, who's taking his place? So we asked that question next, and then we looked into that, and now they're having several CEOs for different branches. And I understand on an organizational level why you would need that many people, but then it makes you ask another question of like, well, I already don't really like the way the direction we're heading in to begin with. How is this going to kind of dilute our like core message even further? Like the more outside people you bring in consistently, the message is going to end up getting really confused. I mean, already he says music for healing, but they literally took that out of the intro.
It's gone. Let's clarify really quick. It's not just about bringing outside people in. It's about bringing certain individuals who have a built-in mindset in this field.
Right, a set way of doing
those guys
things.
into this realm that he created from complete scratch. Like, it's home cooking, and then you're bringing in something that's like churches. You know, you have home cooking fried chicken, right? And then you bring in an outside item that's got a completely different flavor, and you try to mesh it. That's what it is. It's not just bringing in outsiders. It's bringing in outsiders who already have a full cup.
He is what innovated the company from the beginning, and it is concerning to think that he will be kind of out of the way of that.
Well, he's out of the way because in all the pretty words, he pretty much said he's in over his head.
Yeah, he said
that's what he's saying. He's bottom line saying, I'm in over my head.
For him to say, I'm not the business, that was a mouthful. And that for me was shocking, to say the least, because I think, I'm going to just speak for myself, I've always seen him as the genius that we have looked up to him being in all respects, as not so much as an artist, but as a businessman and a genius and a producer and just a mad scientist that put this all together. And for him to come out and say, I'm not a businessman, I don't have the head for this.
Yeah,
it's surprising.
That it is surprising because either one of two things happen. Either one, he ain't the mastermind behind this, and he's had, these people behind the scenes who have been pushing him forward this entire time until it got to the point where he can't pretend anymore. Or B, he hasn't been supported. You get what I mean? Like, he's elevating and he's getting to this level, and he's not being supported in the decisions he's making. And this is completely my theory, and the opposite is happening. Maybe there are some people telling him, you need to step down. You don't have the wherewithal to handle this company at the state that it's in. And I wouldn't put that past a couple of folks.
But if that would be the situation, you would think someone who has the gall to step out of the box so many times over the course of how many years, you would think that they would be able to stand their ground and say, don't tell me.
That's what I'm saying. So it's either A or B. Either A, he hasn't been who we thought he's been.
Somewhere in there.
So dissecting what he said further, in that same statement, right, he said that he doesn't think he's a great businessman. But on top of that, he also added something along the words of, like, I'm not that well-focused on performance and
goal-orientated. And he finds himself constantly asking questions, I suppose, that if you were, you wouldn't be asking. So it kind of, that culture of you need to know your stuff, you don't know your stuff.
Well, I took that statement as a creator of, if you don't know, so when you have a goal and a dream, you know what you are going towards. So nothing can stray you, nothing can, you are able to have a honing beacon, right? If he no longer has sight of that goal or of that dream to where he's questioning, so where am I headed? Where am I going again? Then that's probably why he's going back to his roots.
Well, if a company gets so big that you even have to ask those questions, that's a problem.
Well,
which is probably why.
What I was saying about him saying that is that it makes me wonder personally if kind of building on what you were saying, Mimi, if he's specifically saying he doesn't think he's a great businessman because he's not as performance and goals oriented, it makes me wonder if his team has been constantly pressuring him to meet these certain numbers or performance parameters or grow to this like,
or expectations.
yes, that are strictly like business or profit minded. But we all know that Bang PD, the reason why this company has been so great from the beginning is that he's very like music and people oriented, and he's not in it just to make tons of money.
Yeah, he definitely didn't
Exactly.
go to school for business.
The
I
way-
think that's where it's conflicting.
The tide shifted.
Yes.
Because his tide was going in one direction, and all the money started flowing in, and you have a gazillion billion dollars now.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you what you can do with it.
You know what? That takes a lot of. I mean, he's been with the company, and he's been head of that company for 8 years now, and more.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking of in
more.
respect
Yeah.
to the boys, but and more. And to step down. I mean,
It takes a very strong individual to let the world know, much less let your best friend know, that I can't cut mustard. I just can't do it. So it takes a strong individual, because most people will just fake it and fake it and fake it and mess it up.
Right.
So it takes a strong individual. And in the words of Min Yoongi, giving up is an accomplishment also. Of course, I'm paraphrasing you, brother. Giving up can be an accomplishment also. Because you reached a goal in your life when you're able to say, I can't do this. Because not everybody can do that. Not everybody can be true within themselves. And he is being true within himself to say, he's letting the world know. I don't have this mindset. I have this mindset, and I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to go back to what I am a genius at.
But that's still, with all that said and done, that still brings us back to, okay, well, now what about our boys
Where
in
does that leave
Army?
our guys? Now, with that, I'm going to go back to what my initial thought was, which was, I've been feeling like our guys are just left in the world in the way, just flapping in the wind, and they need some better direction. And not just because of the pandemic. As we used to say, or at the beginning we said it because of the pandemic. They just sitting around sitting on their thumbs. But it's not just because of the pandemic. Even with the pandemic, you still guide them. You still produce them. You still direct them as to what to do during this pandemic until we can get you back out there doing the best of what you are good at. So my thought was, okay, dang, now he's going to go back home, and they're going to get back to their roots. They're going to get back to their guidance they first got from their papa.
so he didn't say he was taking the boys with him.
No, he didn't, but that's how I took it.
Yeah, I mean that's how in
And I didn't feel,
perfect world.
I didn't take it like he was taking the boys with him. I took it like he was going back down the mountaintop to the guys. That's how I
That is
took
the
it.
question that
Well,
I have.
the guys are the mountaintop, which is why the company is doing all of this.
Exactly. But to me, they're on two different mountains. They're on two different mountaintops.
Explain.
We've always said the guys are in the stratosphere. Can't nobody touch them. But HYBE was in the stratosphere also, built off the backs and the money that we made.
Yeah, of Army, yeah.
But they were on, nobody can deny the mountaintop that HYBE, or the conglomerate that is HYBE, is on. They are in the business industry, in the whatever they are way up there.
So that's one mountain and the boys are another.
On the other, yeah.
We mentioned in a previous thing that, especially with the rebrand now, they have been diverging from the boys for so long.
Well,
Yeah.
that's in this article
Absolutely.
actually.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
your theory was actually in fact correct. They are saying in this article that that's exactly what they're trying to do. But they also stated in this article that BTS is still the main source of their income.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah.
But now they're being arrogant about it. Like, it feels like the company is no longer being grateful about it. They're just taking advantage of it at this point. I mean, we even mentioned for the past year or so when you know, they can't make their concert revenue, that they've been having to make ends meet by doing all these promos, and it hurts to see the dudes
It
just
hurts.
being used like that. But it's like, at this point, the way the company is now, they literally aren't even trying to hide it. Don't even try to
They're
hide
not.
the fact that they are out
Using
to grub every single cent and penny they can out of both the boys and Army.
So it's not like, it is the fact that we have put so many irons in the fire. We have to fuel the fire. And right now, you're the only fuel we have. You are the fuel we have. And that literally is what it is. And none of us, we did not want to see it come to that, but that is literally what it has come to. And I don't know if there's something in their contract. I'm sure there is something in their contract that says, sorry, we didn't want to pull this card, but this is the card we have to pull. This is what you have to do. Contractually, this is what you have to
You
do.
got 4 more years under this?
Yep.
I mean, the boys haven't.
They might not be able to.
Well, no, it's just still the lack of communication. I'm suffering because of it. We literally have to sit and have these discussions to figure out what's really going on, because they're not telling us what's really going on. We don't know how the boys feel about PD Neem stepping down. They haven't said a word about it.
That would be nice. That when Namjoon came on yesterday morning, which I have no idea what he said, because as of last night, and that's another thing that's getting on my nerves.
I know what he said.
They're letting all these to decide.
We are pushing everything back to, we are stepping 10 miles back.
I know what he said. He was basically talking about how what he's writing himself, and he played us a little snippet, and things like how he is ready for the pandemic to go off on its way, and how as soon as it's over, he wants to get back on schedule. And then he was talking about what he's been working on personally, just his music and his process. It was 30 minutes, and he had to quickly run out, so it was very short. It wasn't very informative on the logistics of what's going on.
I see, that's what I was hoping for. And what I was saying as a side note was, I am sick and tired of it's been a long time since I was the Army that had to wait
for captions.
Why you put me back in the dark ages? Why you put me back like I'm a baby on your knee again? I'm not. I'm big girl Army. I'm worldwide Army. Why? Why do I have to wait for captions again like I used to when I was a baby Army?
That's kind of going backwards. Like, we have to go to a separate website to watch a muster.
We are going backwards now.
Rather than on Weverse, which we had, a year, maybe 2 years of experiencing that compiled effort on Weverse. Like, one spot, one stop to
It's all part
shop.
of restructuring. It's all part of restructuring.
And you are actually pushing us, anybody that's listening,
It's
if
regressive.
you're listening, you're pushing worldwide Army back into the dark ages of where we began. And I say dark, but it was a beautiful light there. We love them days.
It was
we
a
do.
struggle, though, with
but it was
high
a struggle.
anxiety.
It was a struggle because we had to fight for everything as Army. We have we've had others look upon our fandom, upon our family, and talk about how blessed we are, how great we have it. Because unlike a lot of other fandoms, we're catered to in a lot of ways. And a little at a time, and I've been saying this for months now, you guys are stripping us of everything we've grown to be catered to.
With that being said, all of this is kind of a straight line. We need more communication from our guys, which we may or may not be able to get legally or otherwise. But more communication from them, period, about their passions, about what they're feeling, that would be ideal. And then moving upward, we need better communication with PD Neem on what the heck is going on. And then that moving upward, we need better communication with apparent American HYBE situation here. Like, we don't even know what's going on with that.
Well, let me tell you what the article says, what's going on with American
I truly believe that, just like we mentioned in the past, that HYBE is specifically strategically trying to distance themselves from BTS for the future. I truly believe they're also trying to distance themselves from Army. Like, there is, to me, there's no other explanation why they are pointedly not prioritizing
that
all
would
of these
make
things.
sense, but it's also it's causing a rift between us and the guys.
Let it cause a rift, because let me tell you what's going to happen. They will fail.
Yeah.
You are not, I'm going to tell you, and you heard it here first, whoever's listening, you are going to fail. HYBE will not survive on their own. Without Army, without
That's
their
true.
influence,
They won't.
They're just
and without
another
their money.
building.
But whoever's
won't.
in leadership right now thinks that they can.
Think that they can, and you can't. You will not swim with the big dogs. You won't. You will fail because you need the Army influence. You need the power that Army has garnered worldwide for you. For you. HYBE does not open doors. No. HYBE does not open doors. BTS and Army, which are synonymous, open doors. HYBE don't open doors.
It's like thank you, but no thank you.
There's a lot of leadership, I think, now. Whoever they've brought in, I think it's very clear that there's someone in there who is very arrogant, who has grown very arrogant and thinks that they are at the top of the world.
And I believe Papa has recognized that. Mm-hmm. And he saw the arrogance in himself and realized, I don't have the mind for this. I don't have the mind for that. I don't have the mind for this. Let me get back to the mind that I do have, and let me keep what I know I can keep, do what I know I can do, and jump off this big ass monster.
I would love
get back to
if he took the boys and went over to the side and said, "This is Big Hit again. We're over here, Big Hit."
Honestly, I would like to think that he left the pearl of Big Hit music alone to actually keep that as a little treasure, and we'll go back to that.
I feel some kind of way about that because I feel two ways about that. Whereas that's exactly what I want, that's not what I want, because the boys have worked so hard so that they can stop being talked about and being dissed by the top three, and so now they're finally up there, right? They got the big building and they're so proud of their new space, and like you it's impossible to look down on them at this point, right? And to just kind of snatch them from that and put them back down here,
but that's not what I'm saying, because no matter where you place them, just like I'm telling HYBE,
that mountain won't follow.
You can't, no matter where you place them, that glory, that mountain, and when I say them, I mean us. Mm-hmm. And when you say they've worked so hard, you mean we've worked so hard.
Right.
No matter where you place us, that glory and that mountain is going to follow. It's going to follow.
You got it like that?
It's going to follow. I guarantee you, and I'm not calling no names, other groups, other fandoms are still 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 years later, waiting off on the sidelines for that crown to fall, and it hasn't. It hasn't tarnished. It hasn't fallen, and they're still wondering when. It ain't gonna ever. It ain't gonna ever. It ain't going nowhere. So wherever we go, big, small, little, indifferent building, whatever, it's not going anywhere because we have that power.
Well, HYBE America will be operated under two branches of leadership between CEO Linzo Yoon and CEO Scooter Braun.
So Linzo is the one that has been under PD Ning all this time.
Yes, and he's been elevated.
Yeah. So he stepped right up. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much of an influence he is going to have in this country.
Well, I mean, that's why there's two CEOs. There's him and Scooter Braun. Scooter Braun is the one with the influence.
He is also in Korea. He's also
he's since relocated here.
Who?
Linzo Yoon.
Who's the CEO for Korea?
That's what I was saying. Park Ji-won is what I was reading.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Linzo he has relocated to the States. Oh. So him and Scooter can work, together.
So where the hell did Park Ji-won come from?
That's exactly what I said before we started our chat. I was like, who is Park Ji-won? Because that's a big deal. He's taking over the Korea branch.
Yeah, there's three branches. There's the Korean branch, the Japanese branch, and the American branch. So right now we're just talking about the American branch.
Yeah, again, still. Who the hell is Park Ji-won?
So
what is your credentials? Where'd you come from?
So Park Ji, the new CEO, Ji-won Park, will step into Big Bang's shoes. He joined HYBE just last May.
Oh my God.
After roles of the global COO of game publisher Nexon Japan and CEO of Nexon Korea.
I hate Nexon. This is awful.
Park will focus on systemizing. That's what it says. This is from the article in Variety. Park will focus on systemizing the broader organization in line with the company's...
I saw rapid growth.
Yeah, rapid growth.
That's disgusting.
So he's going to obviously he's the one. I don't know.
Let me tell y'all my experience with Nexon. I have known Nexon as a company for over a decade of my short life so far. Okay? They have
That's a huge
ruined
chunk.
every single game of Korea that I've played and loved on a daily basis. They have ruined every single one of those games I've played, where they started as a small game from a loving game company of people that loved this game, and it made it really great. And every single time Nexon's got involved, it was monetized out the ass. I'm telling you, like absolutely monetized, like unplayable monetized. Like you have to pay to play, basically.
I hate games like that.
I
Those
hate
are the
Nexon.
worst.
I hate Nexon. Every single freaking thing
not about
Nexon
people.
Our
touches turns to
concert
dust.
experience that PD Neem
Promised.
had in mind, his vision, is finna go to shit.
And he's the
It's gonna go to
CEO of Korea HYBE. Like, this is crazy. But yeah, sad is to say, I personally do not have a good experience with Nexon, and
That's
this is
scary.
disastrous in my
That's
mind.
scary. That's scary.
That
So,
is-
PD
I mean, but
Neem's
you know
idea-
what? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
PD Neem's idea of the concert experience that he wanted for us, if that does come to fruition, then I see it being without any consideration to Army, with our black VIP card, period, and everything's expensive through and through, without discount, without us getting in the line first.
I'm
Just
literally
nothing.
gonna come to tears because. So let me give you the first example. Our Army membership
Mm-hmm.
went from
It changed drastically.
hey, everybody get it. Everybody come on. Everybody, oh, you don't have the money right now? Here, take mine. Here, let me get that for you. Here, let me get it for you. Everybody make sure you got the Army membership because of the benefits to girl. So yeah, I'm gonna just get this one. Cause I'm not getting that one. I don't need the bells and whistles. Why do we have 3 different choices? Why do we have, it went to that.
Yeah.
I'm scared to see. I was thinking about the Army membership this morning on the way to work. I'm like, surely we didn't miss it. Isn't it about that time? Isn't it about us?
It is
time
about
for us
that
to
time
renew?
for renew.
And then I remembered somebody in our chat this morning said something about they were still waiting for
Their package.
their perks from their package. They got their membership for sure, because that's just to click on the button, on Weverse. But they're still waiting for some perks from their package. We're about to renew again. But they got the bigger package where you get all the bells and whistles.
I mean, I
They're
got the
still waiting
normal
for stuff.
package and I got bells and whistles. Like, why are they? Looks like they're trying to milk us for everything.
So
they
that's
can.
the
Yeah.
first
They're trying to
example.
grab
That's kind of an
everything.
example of what she's saying. They took to take something small, something that's beautiful, something that you're excited about because that's what you
And what was
need.
the word? Monetizing?
And then they upped the game till you got 3 different versions of it.
So it'll probably be even more so now.
And
as we
then
progress.
another you taking shit from us.
Yeah,
we
the fact that we
paid
can't.
for the one concert and we still don't have it.
Yeah,
We paid for a muster and we don't have it.
yeah,
Have you ever heard of that in the history of the past 4 years of Army?
yeah.
Ever?
When you pay for something, you typically own it, and we don't own anything now. We don't own
They've
anything.
literally taken all the ownership rights from us,
Yeah.
from everything in the past 4 years. And I do truly believe that the boys are holding their tongues. That is my personal belief, that they're not saying anything because they don't have anything good to say. Because you know what? However we feel about PD Neem, they knew way earlier than we did, for sure. That's for certain.
That's absolutely.
But another possibility is, I'm so trying hard not to cry because I'm getting so angry. Another possibility is they don't know. They don't know. They don't know the ins and outs. They don't know Army paid for such and such, and then they don't have it later on. Because you know what? They may not have known that you get to replay. In years past, you've gotten to replay it, and now all of a sudden you don't get to replay it. They may simply not know these type of small changes, which are big changes to us.
So as PD Neem goes back to his roots, I wonder if he has any and what amount of control on Army's exclusivity.
Well, I already told you he doesn't. He literally.
Yeah, typically
I
when
got
there's-
abandonment issues, and right now that's what he's doing. He's abandoning ship.
When he says that he's still going to be on the board of directors, right? I know
As chairman.
he says that to comfort us, but typically on the business side, even when you're chairman on the board of directors, the most that you're really doing is meeting up in a room with a bunch of other people and saying yay to that, nay to that. Oh, I voted, whatever.
And it's
power,
typically-
but you have money. Is what that position is. You have no power, but you have money.
You have
power.
Yeah, you have power, but you
put in a vote though with
you
everyone
put-
else.
Yeah, and you better hold.
So you don't have controlling power.
Yeah, and
you better have
typically
controlling power, 'cause if you
this when a board of directors meet together, it's about finances. It's not about finances and like big projects that are about to happen. But it's not about
Army upset. You better
Weavers or our renewals for our membership. It's not about that kind of thing. So, I mean, he won't know about any of that stuff.
But it's a domino effect. Because back in the day, you got where you are because I don't want to use the word used, Army, but you kept us happy. You kept us happy.
It was a mutual thing.
Yes,
it was a mutual thing.
Mutual relationship.
And if you start putting that up, if you start messing with that, you have to know how to HYBE. This is why you're not going to survive, because you messing with Army. You messing with the flow. There was a flow, and Petey and Neem knew how to use that flow. Remember, I used to talk Mimi about. I don't quite know how to put it, but we used to talk about how he knows exactly how to use us. We didn't know another word to say. He knows exactly how far to let us go, and where to push us and where to corral us at in which direction as far as Army was. And he did, and it was a good thing. It was a good thing. But you pushing us in the wrong direction, and that's not a good thing.
Yeah, he's pushing us in a direction, and we're lost. There's no Google map. There's no he's pushing.
But you know
us,
what? I don't know. But at this point, I think what we're basically saying from beginning to end is it's not really him. It's like he's given up the control, and it's not him. It's, dare we say,
he whose name
we shall not speak,
but not be mentioned. But it's she said concerning. Sarah said concerning. I'm just gonna say it's scary.
It is. It's scary.
It's very scary because.
And it's scary for our guys. It's scary for our family.
I think it must be extra scary for our boys because they will know better than us how much influence PD Neem will have moving forward because they're going to know from being inside the company rather than us. And it makes me wonder, how protected they'll be in the future when they go to the Army, for example.
Yeah.
If they're going to go to the Army and come back and this new HYBE that we can't even recognize just says, okay, well, you're done because...
Yeah, we're done with you. We're done. Put you out to pasture because we can use you like cattle now.
We're retiring
Let's put you out to pasture.
Because they can certainly do that.
They can, but that's just a bullet to the head. That just doesn't... Because the boys can go off independently and still be extremely successful.
I don't think the direction that HYBE's going, I don't think they're going to care. Personally,
yeah, you're right, which is why they're gonna fail. But go do it.
Dude, I'll tell you what. If they hopped over to P Nation and said y'all got room for us, I'll tell you what.
I guarantee you, they're not. I can totally see them
being loyal to. As long as PD Neem has a
label
or creating their own label
has a hand in it, they're gonna be.
Yeah, that is that's.
We'll see when the contract's
a very sticky situation. Very sticky situation.
I feel like back during our Chicago concert was almost the golden days. I would have had no idea if you told me at that point.
None of us.
Which way we're headed.
None of us.
It was it's like you just see green fields in front of you at that point, and you're just you're going to be like that forever.
Me and Bawana talk quite often about where we think this American HYBE will be located. And I'm thinking it's going to be located in LA because of Scooter Braun.
I think it's definitely going to be in LA. But I guess we'll wrap up.
We were hoping Texas, but I'm thinking it's going to be...
I think we could talk about this forever.
Yeah.
So
I think the bottom line is we need answers and we don't have them yet. But I'm excited to see. I always say I'm excited. Because I have to stay excited. I'm excited to see where PD Neem is going to land. And I'm excited to see. He's always been great about communicating with us. May not be always how we want it to be, but he communicates with us. And I'm looking for him to continue doing that. He stepped down. Please, let us know. Let us know where we're headed. Let us know what your plan is.
I know that, regardless of whatever crazy stuff happens with the company, I know that doesn't affect how we feel about the boys and vice versa. So I would say that for me, however concerned I am about the company, I feel reassured knowing that nothing that happens with them will affect our relationship with the boys.
Yeah,
so.
because whatever happens to the boys, wherever they go, we always got them. So
Yeah.
I think in some ways it can affect us because it's already affecting us because look at the changes that they've made that we don't like. I think Army needs to do a better job of communicating to them, and we're not.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we're
I
communicating.
almost said that at the beginning because you said, I think you mentioned something slightly about what we're wanting to know. And I'm like, we are wanting to know, meaning us sitting here at this round table. But has anybody been saying, I don't think Army has been verbal about concern about what's going on.
They haven't. We have in our fandom, of course, it's worldwide and it's millions. But I mean, there's a lot of young Army in our fandom.
I think Young Army is going to be the most vocal online, and that's
Yeah.
what all we're going to see.
They don't. I don't think they particularly care about this type of issue. They are kind of just focused in on the boys, whereas we have a broader perspective.
That's true.
Yeah.
And so
That's absolutely why they haven't been questioning this reconstruction.
They're literally Young Army. So what we need to do is, as older Army, we need to step up as let the Macnays do what the Macnays do, and as the Nunas or the Unis, we need to step up and communicate what our concerns and what our issues are.
Which is what we're doing. Which is what we're doing now. Zoe? Nothing?
All right.
all right.
Well, thanks so much for listening, guys.
Thank you for listening.
As always, we would love to hear your thoughts on it, whether you agree, whether you disagree. This is a
Absolutely.
safe place to talk about it. If
Yep.
you think that we are just talking out of our butts, you can say that as well.
Say that also.
But thank you so much. And with that,
Now you know, Army.
bye.